Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Tejasvi. I'm the Senior Consultant Head of the Department at Yashoda Hospitals, High-Tech City. Today, I'll be moderator for the session, and I would like to introduce our speaker, Dr. Bharat Tej, as a Consultant Emergency Physician at Yashoda Hospital, High-Tech City, and he's going to talk on status epilepticus, what is the importance of status epilepticus, how we going to recognize status epilepticus, and what is the role of early anti-epileptics, and what is the role of the treatment protocol in the first 10 minutes to the last 30 minutes, and when to intubate, when not to intubate. All these aspects you're going to cover in the status epilepticus. I think Dr. Bharatesh, you can take the start the session.
Thank you, sir. I'm Dr. Bharat Tej, working as consultant emergency medicine at Yashoda Hospitals, High-Tech City. Let us start the session on the status epilepticus. Let me share the slides.
You can share the screen and you can open this PowerPoint.
Sure. So this is management of state. So can you see?
We can't. Now we can see. Yes.
Can you see the slides, sir?
Yes.
Yeah. So management of status epilepticus in the emergency department, where we have to recognize the patients who are having the status epilepticus and treat them rapidly and prevent brain injury, because time is brain in this situation. So what are our objectives? Our objectives are recognizing status epilepticus, understanding the emergency priorities, and evidence-based pharmacological management and escalation to the refractory status epilepticus. So coming to the definition, usually the seizure is defined as an abnormal excessive neuronal activity, usually which is self-limiting. But if it is more than 5 minutes, more than or equal to 5 minutes of seizure activity, you have to begin the treatment immediately. And more than 30 minutes or equal to 30 minutes, there is a risk of significant neuronal injury and systemic complications. So where the definition states that abnormal excessive activity or a seizure episode lasting for more than 5 minutes is termed as status epilepticus, or a seizure episode lasting for around recurrent seizure episodes without the gain of consciousness in between the two episodes of seizures. So that is status epilepticus, where you have to begin the treatment immediately. So causes, coming to the causes, we always search for the precipitating cause. Whenever you see a patient in emergency having status epilepticus, you search for this precipitating cause. First is the hospital causes, the patient is in the hospital, and then you have to look for if there is any hypoxia, electrolyte imbalances like sodium abnormalities, sepsis, any drug toxicity, or the patient is going into an organ failure, or the patient is a new onset seizure. The first time in his life the patient is having seizure and it is in status, and you have to search for strokes, any CNS infection, like and or tumors, tumors in the brain, or any trauma, head injury, traumatic brain injury, or any autoimmune encephalitis, suspecting a meningitis or encephalitis. You have to see, look for all these causes. And the patient is a known epilepsy disorder or a seizure disorder, you have to check for any missed drugs. What is compliant or non-compliant on any drugs, or any change in the medications recently, any sleep deprivation, alcohol withdrawal, or any fever. So these are the causes for status epilepticus. How do we approach the patient in ED? So usually we see any patients come into the emergency on ongoing seizures. So first thing you have to see is the same thing: airway, breathing, circulation, disability, and exposure. So airway, you have to take the patient in the left lateral position, suction if he is aspirating any food particles or any secretions, and use an airway adjunct and RSI if needed. And breathing, connect him to the oxygen, connect him to the monitor saturations, check his saturations, and also get an IV axis and connect to the cardiac monitor. And disability, GCS and blood glucose, where this blood glucose is very important in this context. because we'll have to, if the patient is having ongoing seizure and sugars are hypoglycemic, then you have to treat the cause immediately. Treat for the hypoglycemia immediately. Check his pupils and temperature. In case of pediatric patients, like there is something called febrile seizures, where you have to correct the temperature, then the seizure will subside. And exposure, any trauma and any infection, rash or pregnancy, you have to check for all the ABCDE approach. And then how do you manage? Now coming to the management of the seizures in the emergency department. So we'll discuss the management from in along with the in the pediatrics and also in the adult, side by side. Okay, how do we manage? The seizure starts is nothing but the zero time, when we have seen, that is the seizure onset time, or when we have seen the patient seizing. So confirm it clinically, check ABC, put left lateral position, suction out the contents, and put a high flow oxygen, attach monitoring, and check the glucose, blood glucose. Blood glucose is very important in this aspect, where you have to correct the hypoglycemia immediately. And coming to the same for the adult, it is the same thing. And in the first 5 minutes, the first line of agents, what we use is benzodiazepines. Benzodiazepines, 2 doses of benzodiazepines at the maximum. So, if the child or patient is having an IV axis, if you can't find an IV axis, get a buccal midazolam, give 0.3 to 0.5 mg orally, and then try to secure a cannula. Or if there is no IV axis in the adults, you have to check for the parental diazepam, 0.5 mg per kg. You have got an IV axis. So usually what we do is, once we find an IV axis, we'll directly go for a lorazepam. Lorazepam is 0.1 mg per kg up to a maximum of 4 mg you can use in the pediatrics. And in the adults, you can go for directly 4 mg dose, and wait for next 10 minutes, and then see if the patient is seizures are getting reduced, or the patient is still seizing. Then consider the second dose of benzodiazepine, that is the first line of agent, that is lorazepam 1 mg per kg IV. And by this time, you have to secure the cannula, secure the IV axis. If at all you're not finding an IV axis, you have to go for a IO axis in the children. Or in case of adults, if you can't find an IV axis, you can go for peraldehyde, 0.4 mg per kg per rectal, in the same volume of olive oil. And if at all the patient in the next 15 minutes, patient is stopped seizing, that is okay. And then if at all, if patient is still seizing, wait for next 10 minutes, and then you have to use the second line of agents. Second line of agent, first will be levetiracetam, 30 to 60 mg per kg over 5 minutes. It can be given up to 3 gram maximum. And or phenytoin or phenobarbital. Phenytoin, we usually don't go for a first line in these second line agents. First thing in the second line agents, because you have to monitor ECG, because there is a risk of throwing arrhythmias. Or phenobarbital 20 mg per kg by IV infusion over 5 minutes, because patient and you can because we have to be a little careful, because it has an effect of respiratory compromise. So it is the same in case of levetiracetam or phenobarbital, or phenytoin in case of the adults. And then involve the ICU team, or a senior consultant. And then if at all the patient is continuous using for the next 15 minutes, then go for a third line agents, where you have to prepare for the deeper anesthesia and intubation for RSI, and complete the procedure to the next step. But if it is not applicable, and then you can also use levetiracetam, if at all you have used levetiracetam, you can use the second line of agent of phenytoin or phenobarbital, or the second line in the pediatrics, not in the adults. In the adults, you have to go directly for a third line agent. Third line agent is nothing but RSI intubation. We'll talk about it. And in pediatrics, you have to go for you can use the alternative agents for the second line drugs, that is phenytoin or phenobarbital. For example, the patient is having, I'm coming to the old slide. For example, you have already used levetiracetam, a patient is already on levetiracetam, you can start giving the loading of phenytoin or phenobarbital, not the levetiracetam, because the patient is already using it. So coming to and after 40 minutes of this, even the patient is still seizing, you have to start with on rapid sequence induction using thiopental sodium for 4 mg per kg IV. it is the same for adults as well. Or if at all you have, you can also use propofol with single dose rocuronium, or a ketamine or a midazolam as alternatives. Intubation and ventilation, monitoring neurological signs and ongoing seizures are not or it can be easily identified on the continuous EEG. So acidosis is commonly seen in these patients, in patients with status epilepticus. It might be respiratory component or it might be a metabolic component. Respiratory component because the patient is not breathing, and metabolic component, ongoing seizure, patient his muscles are continuously moving, and then there is an increased demand of oxygen and decreased oxygen supply to the muscles, and then from there anaerobic respiration leading to the increased lactates, leading to metabolic acidosis. So the induced acidosis does not correlate with the degree of neuronal injury. So the amount of acidosis is not will not directly direct you towards the neuronal injury degree. Like how much the patient is neurologically deteriorated will not correlate with the acidosis. And do not correct the metabolic component. Once you correct the status epilepticus, then patient will automatically if at all automatically will be in a better position to increase the acidosis, to improve the acidosis. So here I'll summarize the management. So time, first 5 minutes, stabilize ABCDE, oxygen, IV glucose, IV and glucose, if at all, if there is any hypoglycemia, correct it immediately. So next 5 to 10 minutes, stop the seizure, giving first line of drugs using benzodiazepines, lorazepam or midazolam. Repeat once after next 5 minutes, and 10 to 30 minutes, prevent the recurrence by loading anti-epileptic drugs. Full loading doses to be given. Consider the alternative drugs if at all the patient is already on another some anti-epileptics. And more than 30 minutes, escalate, plan for RSI and ICU care, and treat the cause. And the time is more important than choice of AED in these patients of status epilepticus. So investigations, we do the bedside investigations like ECG, glucose, ABG, and temperature. Laboratory investigations includes CBC, electrolytes, calcium, magnesium. Imaging includes CT brain or MRI, CT angio if at all any stroke is suspected, or the lumbar puncture in case of infection. You're suspecting an infection, or special tests like EEG, AED levels, toxicology. If you're told your patient you're suspecting any any status epilepticus relating to toxicology, you can suspect drug overdose. You can send the toxicology levels and autoimmune workup. Always remember, try to identify the underlying cause and then treat the patient. So for your knowledge, like the anesthetic drug infusions, what we consider is midazolam 0.2 mg per kg loading and 0.05 to 0.05 mg per kg per hour. And propofol 1 to 2 mg per kg is a loading, and 1 to 4 mg per kg per hour is a maintenance dose. And thiopentin 3 to 5 mg per kg, 3 to 5 mg per kg per hour is a maintenance. Ketamine is 0.5 to 2 mg per kg loading, or 1 to 5 mg per kg per hour. But continuous EEG whenever possible you're suspecting a seizure. So take home messages are: treat at the 5 minutes, not at 30. Benzodiazepines first. Give a full loading dose of second line AD. Secure the airway early if the seizures persist. Always treat the underlying cause. Trimese brain and early intervention changes outcomes. I would like to add two more points in this. Like one is the pregnancy related, where you have to when the patient is pregnant and then you are suspecting the status epilepticus, consider it as eclampsia or preeclampsia, and the alcohol withdrawal. Thank you. I'm open for the questions.
Any questions? I think no more questions. Thank you, Dr. Bharat, for giving a lot of insights of status epilepticus and its management. Now, it is very important to identify status epilepticus. In general, what we do is we jump as soon as seizure comes, we jump and give a fluoras immediately. But ideally, you have to wait for 5 minutes. They confirm, then only you need to give the lorazepam or any other anti-epileptic epileptics. And if your status, the seizures are continuing for more than 30 minutes, and consider early RSI so that you can protect the brain and to avoid brain brain is going to hypoxia. So it's better to early intubation in case of status epilepticus. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, Dr.
Bye-bye.
Tejasvi,
Yeah,
for giving me this opportunity.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I think you can end the session.
Okay.